All right. Well, welcome back from commercial, I guess. So
I like that we redid the intro.
you know what? It felt right. I wanted to get copyright struck twice, but I want to shout out Emmett Frazee because he did this in such a way like his dad would. He made it about North Dakota State, then ended the live stream right afterwards for anything else could happen. So it's just about North Dakota State. So shout out to Emmett. You're the man. Appreciate you. But anyways, we're back after that break. Let's start talking about Nashville. I know we said it's gonna be some folks' first time. For those of you who it is your first time going, besides the fact that the obvious stuff you've heard, like the game's not in a soccer specific stadium, it's in an actual football stadium. What are you most excited about with the game being in Nashville?
I want to hear you say "about" again.
Yeah, me too, because you sounded Canadian for a second.
I did. Super Canadian. It'd be
both.
You're on the wrong
sure,
brother.
Yeah, sure. You bet.
Sound like he's from Labrador.
So the debate was really good, but then the rest was terrible. That was awful attempt.
You would know, Brendan.
You would know.
I know the different dialects of almost Canadian, so
yeah. So, anyways, what Brendan, what are you excited about with the game being in Nashville?
Oh boy, where to start?
Well played there, Brendan.
So, where to start? I'm excited. I've never been to Nashville, so that'll be fun. See Dolly Parton, maybe. I don't know. But in all seriousness, I'm looking forward to seeing Vanderbilt Stadium, seeing what the crowd's like. In a larger stadium, in a football specific venue will be interesting. Not that I didn't have any issues really with Toyota Stadium beyond the turf. But I am interested to see it in Vanderbilt Stadium instead. I think it's going to be really cool. It should be a lot of fun. There's the excitement of everything new. We don't know where the bars are going to be. It sounds like the downtown's a lot more compact, which if you've ever partied in Brookings, compact downtowns, man, that's my jam. I don't like bombing from bar to bar and Uber all over the place. Just let me walk from bar to bar. So kind of excited about that. Should be a lot of fun, and just excited to get the gang back together, see all the boys.
Yeah, that's a good point about downtown, because that's where everybody will be, right? Even though the stadium's outside of downtown and it's near West End, but you go down Broadway, you go into Printer's Alley, you go into the places like that. That's where all the bars are compact and together. There's some great places on Broadway. There's some terrible places on Broadway too. So just be prepared for both. But the one cool thing I will say about Nashville, and I've been called a Nashville hater, is every musician that you will see playing that weekend is so much better than any musician you'll see anywhere else playing, because they're trying to make it in Nashville. Even if they're playing shitty Sublime covers in a bar, they're going to be better than any other shitty Sublime cover you've heard anywhere else, because they're trying to make it in that city.
I'm excited to say I did karaoke in Nashville once.
And if you go to somewhere like Tootsie's, they'll have like 3 different levels, and each is its own bar, and each has their own
band,
vibe, and band and singer. It's pretty rad.
Yeah. Like Nudies is the same way. I think Nudies has 3 levels, and it's a band on each level also, and it's music from like 10 a.m. until midnight the whole day. So it is an interesting place. Taco King, what are you excited about with it being in Nash Vegas?
Just the new scenery, and Broadway's fun in Nashville. Like Brendan said, you're right there. You're going to be able to jump bars. You're going to be able to go run over, see somebody, run back to the next bar. But if you're a live music fan too, Nashville you can't beat it for it. And are we going to get lucky and run into one of the famous bars with the person actually singing? So
that's very true. Zach, I know you got to work through most of it, doing a lot of press and stuff, but I know you'll get to go out and have some fun too. What are you looking forward to with it, especially from a media side of it versus us being bums who just sit on the top row of the stadium and drink?
No, man, I think the number one thing, like Brendan says, is catching back up with everybody. But the fact that, we don't have to drive through Dallas traffic to get to like different bars we want to go to. That was the most annoying thing, having to get back on the interstate and drive different places and everything. Like you said, everything's really, really compact there, right there on Broadway. So I think that's the biggest thing, is it all being really, really close and actually feeling kind of like a big city feel, because Frisco's nice, but it'd be like the game being in the middle of Dallas would be much different than it is in Frisco. I think it's going to have like a much bigger city feel than Frisco did.
Yeah, I would agree there. I'm interested too when it comes to, I think Brendan mentioned it too, about attendance. You know, it's a 35,000 seat stadium.
Yep.
Yeah, 35, 40.
Yeah, and there's not. I will say this: not all the tickets are sold. You can go to NCAA.com and buy them still, and you can go. I mean, to StubHub and SeatGeek and the other places that don't sponsor the show, and there's still quite a few tickets on there too from like North Dakota State fans and South Dakota State fans, Montana fans who bought theirs and sold theirs. So I'm interested. What do y'all think the attendance number will be at this?
Well, it says capacity on the stadium is 40,350, but I think that's since it's under renovations, that's not accurate anymore. Correct?
Yeah, I think one of the end zones is under renovation, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's not going to be a whole lot more than what we had at Toyota Stadium, and it's going to look a little less than full. That's just my personal opinion. They jacked up the prices of the tickets yet again by a ton, which is uncalled for, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was listening to the mini Frazee the other night, and I'm actually with. I think it's going to probably be the most attendance of an FCS game, championship game. I think there's going to pull. I agree to over 25,000 in the game.
Yeah, I really would have been heavy on that if they wouldn't have not. You get a bigger stadium. My expectation was, all right, they'll keep at worst they'll keep the tickets the same, if not drop the price. They jacked the goddamn things up,
like 30%.
Yeah, so I'm hesitant to say, but I do think it will be 25,000. For a lot of reasons that were mentioned on the podcast.
I just think Montana State fans, I mean, they traveled when we played them last year. There was more Montana State fans than NDSU fans. And I'm not quite sure last year if the majority of fans thought they had a legit chance to win it. And it's been 40-some years. I think Montana State's going to bring 20-some thousand by themselves. And then Illinois State, I honestly think they're going to bring 7,000. It's only 6 hours. It's only 6 hours away. You can't tell me that they're not going to bring some fans.
I think you're right about one thing, Taco, is that they feel like they've made it, right? Like this is their destiny year, 2022 for us. It's the handwriting's on the wall. They got to do is show up, play the game, and they're going to win. And I don't really think that's the case personally, but I feel like their fan base feels that way. Once they got past the Grizz, they felt like that was the biggest hurdle, getting through the semifinal, and they feel like it's downhill from there. So I think we'll have a lot of fans for that very reason.
Yeah, Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to push up close in between 25 and 30, somewhere in there. Like I think Illinois State could bring more than people are thinking as well. Like they packed out the game they went to Frisco in when they played North Dakota State. I mean, they brought a ton of fans, and I do think their fan base now. Listen, they played NDSU close in that game, but I think they feel like this could be the year. They feel like they're the team of destiny. You got to think for the fans too. Not a ton of them probably went to Fargo for that second round game because probably not a lot of them thought they were going to win that game. How many can afford to go to UC Davis and then turn around right before Christmas and go to Philadelphia? Probably not a ton. This feels like their opportunity to go and be there. I think, and then I think Taco King said it perfectly. Montana State fans feel like this is their year. Like if they sold championship merch already, it'd be sold out for Montana State fans because they think they are like a lock to win this game. So I think they're going to pack it out, man, because they haven't won since '84. Man, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, I would love to see. I'd love to see 30,000 there. I don't think it's be 30,000. I think it'll be 25, which again is the highest attended one in recent years. I don't know if any of the ones back at back in the 90s were higher attended. I haven't looked at the attendance. The weirdest thing about that is that it's the highest attended one, but then if that stadium holds 35,000, then you're only 80% full. And so then you're going to get people saying you can't even sell out a championship game, shit like that, and that's annoying to me.
I think if anybody is poo-pooing an 80% full stadium, they're just not
I think
worth your time.
I think it's gonna be awesome. I legit think it's gonna be a good crowd. I hope a shit ton of Illinois State fans show up. I really do. Yeah. I would love to see them come out. I mean, I bet the Montana State folks, they're nice. Whenever I met them in Bozeman a few weeks ago, at least the ones except for one guy who had the handle. But I hope it's a good crowd. That's what I was seeing. I hope we see them all intermingling on Broadway, and I hope it's just a good ass time.
Yeah,
Well,
fun fact, the highest attended game is 32,106,
Yep.
and it was Montana Marshall.
Yeah,
Montana Marshall, yeah.
95.
I was at Marshall, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was in Huntington. Like
Huntington.
there were like a few years there that got up over 30 back in like the 90s when
Yeah.
Marshall was going.
Yeah, 92, 96, 3 years they were over 30.
Yeah.
Was that the Randy Moss? No. Was that the Moss years?
No.
96 would have been.
96.
Yeah,
was the
96
Moss years,
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to hear Montana State fans admit that the reason they feel like it's a coronation is the bad men are gone and they don't have to worry about their boogeymen being there anymore the season.
They still got to play someone from the Valley though, and if they lose, that's
God.
going to be terrible.
Oh, God. Dude, that walk out of that stadium, if Montana State loses, it's going to be like someone publicly executed a dog at the 50-yard line. Like it'll be
Your governor?
I was going to say,
right, yeah, right, yeah.
He's not our governor anymore, for the record.
Yeah, hey, don't put
Bar's
that
not
word
making
now.
any money that night. Everyone's going back to the hotel room.
Yeah.
right. Or they're making all.
Or they're
money
making
and
a
their
lot.
arrest rate's
Yeah,
gonna go
that,
through
Yeah.
the roof.
What do Montana State folks drink? Do they get Busch Light up there, or do they just drink Montucky?
No, what's the other
Well,
one?
it's Bozeman. They don't
Rainier.
drink beer. They drink
They drink-
wine.
Yeah. Bozeman's
beer.
rich. They
Yeah,
drink.
Bozeman has money.
It's craft beer.
That
for
doesn't
sure.
mean
Yeah.
people that
It's-
graduate.
they're not drinking. They're not drinking
live there.
Montucky. They're not drinking Moose Drool. They're drinking. They're drinking fine craft ales and fine wines. And what's up, Dallas?
Hey, what's up?
Nelson.
Can you hear me?
Heyo.
Yeah.
All
we hear
right,
you.
all right, real quick. I came in to interrupt everything that was going on and bring it to a screeching halt. Is my audio okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay,
Yeah, you're
cool.
good,
You got to shout. Ray, get hydrate real quick though.
No, I am still getting my bearings. I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, good. We're talking about the game in Nashville and how excited folks are about it being in Nashville and in a football stadium and different environment. A little bit about the game. Obviously, there will be a live show on Monday. I assume Monday, from the group that's there to talk more in depth about the game. Dallas, since you're here, I kind of want to switch off of this. We can come back to it, but there's a topic that you and I talked about a bit on Twitter. We went back and forth on, and it's about the potential movement of FCS schools into the G6, and I'm calling it G6 because that's what they are.
G6 for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
G6 for sure. And if that's still a thing or not. And so Matt Brown and Extra Points put out an article talking about that Montana State and Montana have more NIL than Wyoming. And Wyoming said, why are they trying to, they're trying to spend so much money to get into the Mountain West Conference, and basically took a shot right back at the two schools. And so this sort of triggered conversation, about, do we think there's still movement happening with the new higher amounts that they're possibly going to be asking for, 10 million to be able to move, plus a conference invite? And also do we think the shenanigans of the college football playoff will have an impact on what happens with G5 schools? And so, Dallas, I want to hear your thoughts first.
Sure, I can chime in. Those numbers, I don't know. No one has figured out where that 2.2 million came from. Garbage numbers, makes no sense. Absolutely ridiculous. But it is an interesting topic because, while I think that even if right now it jumped, we'll call it the Sam Houston rule, jumping up from 500,000 to 5 million or whatever it was, to jump from FCS to FBS. Even if it does jump up to 10 million to join a conference, whatever that is, which I actually don't fully understand right now. I don't think your top call it top 6 or 7 teams. I don't think that they have trouble doing that necessarily. What I'm really curious about is, you look at just fan bases in general, and what I assume is also coming from the schools, is there's just this revolt of having a separate G6 conference because, we'll be the new FCS, which that's a topic for another day, which just drives me insane, because by saying that, you're also admitting that you are different from the other teams, but yet you won't allow yourselves to be different. But yeah, I feel like there's going to be even more resistance allowing even a North Dakota State to jump up, who competitively is better than most of them. But I think they're going to be afraid of letting people water the conferences down, if that makes sense. So that's kind of my immediate thoughts.
So just one thing from my understanding of what I've read, the excerpts from that article that and things like that, the 10 million is on top of the 5 million to go in. You pay the $5 million fee, and then there's the claim is that the FCS school would pay a $10 million entrance fee to the conference beyond the $5 million. And I think, like Austin's comment said, at this point, it might be a moot point to move to the FBS. If the G6 and P4 split, dozens of FCS teams probably get absorbed into the G6. Do they? Do you honestly think that the G6 is not as greedy as the Power 4 teams? You're out of your mind. And
that's what I'm saying too.
And granted, SDSU guys, we have all the faith in the world in Justin Sell, Barry Dunn, because people think these are just an athletic department decision. These are presidential level decisions. These are not your athletic director. This is your president level making this sort of decision. But they have more info than anyone here or any reporter. They have a better feel of how it's going to go down. But if with the knowledge that you have as an FCS, president and AD, you get the feeling that when the split happens, that they're not going to let you into the party, then that $10 million plus the $5 million is worth it. Because I think the part that gets lost in the wash for some of these schools, like an SDSU, for instance, it's not that SDSU wants to be FBS so bad, but what they have publicly stated is that they want to be at the second highest level of competition. Right now, there's not that line a real defined set line. We all know what the line is between the G6 and the A4, but there isn't an actual split. But when that happens, that's the stated goal, and that's where the Montanas and NDSUs, and NDSU is a different case. They just want to be FBS, and that's and more power to them.
Yeah,
but your Montanas, your SDSUs, things like that, they want to be in the second highest level of competition with the championship. And I'm not going to go off on the rest yet on the G6 and their attitude. Let everybody else talk, because I'll just suck up all the airtime, and I don't need to do that.
No, but it's funny though, because Montana, what you're saying about South Dakota State saying they want to be at the second tier, Montana's thing. SFA's openly said that too. Mike McGroom and Kobe Carthel both said that. So it's not just the big state schools like North that are wanting to do it. And there's a lot of money being pumped into some of the other southern schools in terms of renovations and things like that to help make them be better window dressing and have better curb appeal for the move up. So Brian, for you being an NDSU fan, we've seen a lot of smoke in the past month about a move. I'm not saying that I want you to give any inside stuff, because I know you know people, but what are your thoughts on the potentials that could be going on in Fargo?
I think what you said, Rev, is NDSU has been pretty open about they want to be at least in the second tier of it. I think if you see that P4 G6 split, I definitely don't think NDSU will be happy if there's an FCS still where they're now technically third there. There's the rumor boat floating around Fargo constantly a lot in the last month or so. What do you believe? What don't you believe of the rumors? Supposedly there's been some phone calls to some of the bigger donors saying, how big can the checks get? So I guess, if they're asking that, it kind of aligns with, okay, we're going to end up paying what the rumor is now, $15 million to get to the FBS level. But at this point, it's, I guess I've heard we're going, I've heard we're not, until I see Matt Larson come out and say we're going FBS, I call bullshit on it. So
that's fair. Zach, I was going to say, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I'd be really interested to see how the Ivies would view this as a lens of, would they want to be stuck in the FCS, or would they also want to be on that next level now that they're actually competing in the national championship tournament? I'd be kind of curious what their view is on that. And we don't have anyone here that represents that, but that'd be an interesting thing to know. Maybe Zach has some insight.
I was going to say, Zach, have you gone down that path, you or Timothy?
No, I would think the Ivies, as long as basketball stays how it is, for everyone's in the same subdivision, like, they don't care. I think basketball and other sports, like the Olympic sports, are more where the Ivies are probably if like let's just say G5 P4 split, but then that happened with other sports, the Ivies would be like, all right, we're what we got to fork out here because this is ridiculous. But I just think as long as basketball's Division I with everybody, I don't think it would matter. I mean, they could force their way up to the next level. I mean, let's just be honest, man. If they wanted to drop the money, they could go into the P4. I mean, if they really wanted to. So I don't really think they have a strong opinion either way. But like this conversation is so hard to have, right? Because there's so many variables that aren't constant that we could change and have a completely different conversation. Because I agree with Brendan. Like if there's a split, what makes people think that the G6 is going to let new people up? And who says they don't kick some people down?
Mm-hmm.
Who wants Louisiana Monroe in the G6? Right. I don't know if Louisiana Monroe wants to be in the G6. Wyoming.
Well, no, that's the point I was going to bring up.
Zach, did you see the comments today about the MAC? I mean, there's some people suggesting that some teams in the MAC should jump down. And again, like it's you always have to separate yourself between there's a competitive conversation which does not drive this decision really in the slightest.
No. Right?
It's about the alignment of the university and it's about markets and all that stuff. And I know everybody on this pod knows that. Yeah, it's money. It's money, right? But in terms of like, the reason why Dakota schools and Montana schools are so competitive right now is because they don't have a saturation of schools that in other areas are G6 in those markets where they're recruiting, right? So like they're really competitively, they're the same thing. And if you look at it that way, then yes, either half of the MAC should drop down, the whole CUSA should drop down, and half should probably be D2. Right? So I don't know. All this stuff has to settle out at some point. But.
Yeah, but it's really funny when you look at two things. One, yeah, the G6 isn't going to be like, hey, you know what? We lost our ability to compete for national championship. Let's bring in some other schools to make this more. I mean, they're already, their postseason is already so saturated as it is, right? That with all the bowls where they're letting 5 and 7 teams come in and come play. Like it's absolutely nuts to me that the FBS as a whole has allowed their postseason to become what it is. And so I could honestly see the G6 saying, okay, we'll go to a playoff. We'll, some of these bowls that aren't doing anything, that aren't sticking around. I mean, they scrapped the Bahama Bowl already. They're going to scrap some other ones because there's no money there. You turn around and make a true playoff at that level when this happens. And yeah, there's no need for them to bring on anybody else unless somebody were to leave, unless the P4 were to pull up. I don't know. We'll just say Western Kentucky. I'm just going to pick them as a team. Let's say they get pulled up. Then yes, then the spot would open up for someone to move. But you're going to need those top dominoes to fall before you see a conference do that, because Conference USA doesn't need anybody else. They're full. Sun Belt doesn't need anybody else. The MAC doesn't need anybody else. I mean, the MAC might need to replace some members, but at the moment they have enough members than anybody else. The Mountain West is probably the one that you would look at it and say, hey, this would be an opportunity. But if Mountain West pulls from anywhere, they're going to pull from CUSA. They're going to pull from already an established FBS conference. So you need the Mountain West domino to fall there to get the movement that you want to see. And it may not happen. And so to me, it's just, but also too, like the whole attitude of the FBS postseason this year has been insane. Between the media shitting on JMU and Tulane for earning their rightful spots in the postseason, to even the G6 attitude about the FCS, like some of those folks need to be sat down and talked to, or spanked and put to bed. One of the two. Like it's just absolutely asinine to me, some of the stuff I've seen on Twitter the past 2 weeks about FBS football. But I'll get off my soapbox about that. Brendan, I want to hear your thoughts about the attitudes because I need a nap. So if you could.
All right. I don't want to clog up too much of the time.
I don't have a timer. Don't worry.
We got guys.
I was looking
Zach
for it actually.
Yeah. Shout out Corey Mensch's greenhouse here. But so this is funny because this I hate being hypocritical. So the whole attitude on the G5s getting into the playoffs and all this bullshit. And sorry for the Matt and everybody who runs the FFN and everything. This is probably going to get a little colorful. This whole thing you can tell is orchestrated. all the people coming out against the G6 teams being in the playoffs. Oh, who do they all happen to work for? Oh, Fox and ESPN. They wouldn't happen to have a massive vested interest in having their own league, because let's be honest, if you are if you're ESPN and Fox and you get to make the CFP into only your Power 4 conferences, then now you basically own the rights between two networks to your own mini NFL. And to all these clowns out there who say, oh, the first round are good games. And this includes for the FCS, by the way. No, they're not good games. This is college football. It's not the NFL. It's not even across the board. That's not how this works. There's blowouts all the time. Jesus Christ, we had an FBS national title game that was like 65-3. Shut up about the blowouts. It's college football. The starting quarterback could have banged the offensive guard's girlfriend before the game, so the guards got and there's tension there, and their head's not in the damn game because they're 20 years old. Weird shit happens, okay? It's college football. It's not the NFL. You're not going to get all of these really good games every playoff game like the NFL. But what they want is a mini NFL. So they're making this whole thing out there, and this goes against what I want, because I would prefer if the G5 did split. But this whole commentary of, well, James Madison's never going to win the national title. Well, yeah, neither is fucking Drake, okay? But we should just not allow, just kick them out into what for what? Why shouldn't they get a shot? That doesn't degrade the national championship. It doesn't degrade the tournament because they get in and, oh my God, they got blown out. Well, guess what? The Patriot League's also won twice since the turn of the century in the college football, in the FCS playoff. Haha, big sky.
Brandon, okay, I'm going to break the rules.
So anyways, that's it. Go for it.
No, I'm interrupting the rant because I have the exact same bitch, and I do not understand why we've agreed with 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
You need to hit the lap timer for now.
All I'm going to add is the thing that drives me insane is I get that college football started from a different place with the bowl games. I understand it. But the point that I haven't seen brought up yet is that we're talking about mimicking every other damn sport at every division in college sports, right? If you're in swimming, the conference championship, the conference championship goes. Whoever wins it goes. Basketball, they go. Baseball, they go. Volleyball, they freaking go. And you know what? If you draw Drake in the FCS playoffs, you're just happy you had a good draw, and they're happy they went. Everybody wins, and it drives me absolutely insane. And the shit has to end. I can't stand it. So whether they divide it, which is another rant that we could go on right now, because it drives me insane. With the G5, G6 fan base, they're like, oh, we'll be the new FCS. Well, okay, once again, you are agreeing that you're different really by even admitting that in the first place.
Right.
Which just drives me freaking nuts. And then you look at, okay, so how many bowl games, and I haven't done this math, but how many bowl games going on are G6 versus G6? Why not make that meaningful on a campus site instead of playing it in rural Mississippi in front of 300 fans and people only watch it because nothing is on? Like, calmer heads have to prevail at some point here. I just don't know what it's going to take. Okay, I'm done.
Is it any different than basketball? I mean, if we don't have any of the teams that have a chance to be a Cinderella, what the F is the point to the basketball? You know, I'm not going to watch the NCAA tournament if all that's going to be in there is Ohio State, Louisville, Georgetown. They're actually a smaller school, but Jesus, man, like it's going to lose interest if all that's in there is the big teams. I'm
going to be the hater here. I hated it that JMU and Tulane were in. I mean, what is college football these days, especially
strength
at the
P4 schedule level?
It's strength schedule, absolutely, but it's money. It's a damn business, and kids are getting paid millions to play.
Yeah, but the strength of schedule is being set by ESPN, and they're only screwing their sisters down.
Here, let's say here's the reality. You're right, Brian, that it's about money. And because let's be honest, right now, while I believe the kids should have been able to get paid and all these things and the transfer portal and all that stuff. It is not better for college football.
Is it better?
No, it's not.
No. But is it
inarguably worse?
Is it better though? Because let's be realistic about these kids. How many make the NFL of total players?
That's not the argument. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care.
That's my argument.
Like,
on it.
Sure,
let the kids play. Let them get paid, and put the best teams out there. Not who's won the conference of Slapnut Conference USA or AMU the Sun Belt.
But NIL is
3-8. And
NIL isn't even what it was supposed to be.
I don't care.
Yeah, but here's the problem though: is that this is the only level where the conference champion isn't given a shot to win a national championship.
Right.
In every other level of football and every other NCAA sport, and obviously this level isn't technically sanctioned by the NCAA, and the championship's not sanctioned by the NCAA. But again, you have 11 or 10 conferences, and not all 10 champions get a shot. Yeah, you know what? Fucking Kennesaw State or whomever won the Conference USA, I can remember who it was.
It was Kennesaw State.
They're going to get their ass beat first. That was a good guess. They're going to get their ass beat first round, right? We all know that, right? Just like we know Drake is going to get their ass beat first round.
Sure, put all the conference champs in, expand it a little, I guess. Expand it. Go for it. And put Slapnuts in and watch them get beat by 70 and 10 players get hurt.
That's no different than some of the other games.
Don't give me this. Don't give me that argument.
I know just devil's advocate.
The bad part is the bad part is I have a completely different. My FCS stance on this is completely different. I have no problem with all the conference champions and getting in. I'm kind of agree with Brian. It's different at the P4 level. Like the difference between the SEC and any G6 team is like comparing South Dakota State to like a high school team.
No.
Like it's not the same level of football. Like we're acting like they're the same level. They're not. Those G6 teams are actually FCS teams that are just happen to be D1.
And how can they get better if they don't have a chance?
Well, that's exactly it. Like that too. But other thing, let's be honest. There's some teams in the SEC. There are some teams in the Big Ten. There are some teams in the ACC. There's some teams in the Big 12 that are P4 and name only and not performance and not results.
Agree. Right? And they'll never win it.
And they never will win. So saying that the SEC is a different level from the G6 isn't entirely true. It's true at the top level.
It is. It is very true. Like
no, it's not. No. Completely disagree. So Matt Zimmer, the top columnist for South Dakota State, he made a case on a podcast the other week and I'm a Minnesotan my entire life. He made a case that the Gophers should actually drop down when the split happens, and that's basically the level. If you're a slightly over 500 team every year for eternity, why on earth would you be in that top level? The top level is like 30 teams, and that's it. The Minnesota Gophers are never going to win or compete for a P4 national championship. So why would they be there? That doesn't make sense.
You can send them down too. Like I have no problem with sending them down too. Like I have no problem with sending people down.
So do you think? So I'm going to say this. Joe DeLeon said this, and shout out to Hack City. They'll be in Nashville for the weekend, not the game, but whatever. They because they do football work, right? Their schedule's screwed up. At least they'll be in Nashville. So, but anyway, I digress. He said, and he did mention this. He said, "Do tie the G6 to a P4 and do promotion and relegation."
Agreed. I love that.
I'd be for
everybody loves that.
Everybody loves that.
So here's my thought on that, and this is kind of a holistic thing, right? First off, is if I'm the G5 president, you got to look at this and go, this can't continue. This isn't something that, and especially once they get written out of the college football playoff, because that's what's coming. That's what all this messaging is.
Within the next 5 years, it's over.
It's not even the next 5 years. It's next 2.
Yeah, 2 probably.
Quick.
If I'm them, I work with the A4 to build some sort of framework because it's about the money. That's why the G6 wants to stay there. They want that college football playoff check. So I would have them, all right, you're going to kick us some money from that still for us to not fight this and make it easier for you. Build a framework for what you're going to get charged per person for how many years that you steal from our teams. But then if I'm a G5, I look at this, and this is based off my comment of it's not better for college football anymore, because college football at the SEC and Big Ten level. It's not college football. It's all NFL stadium. It's NFL light and
bigger than NFL.
That. There's a reason people fell in love with college football, and it's not because it was like the NFL. It's because of the goofy stuff that happens. It's the bands, the atmospheres at these home stadiums, all these things. If you're the G5, embrace that. And if you're the G5, maybe instead of trying these little media contracts, why don't you work on a holistic national TV deal?
Yeah, you can get Flow.
Where instead of Flow Sports, instead of rotating through, because right, like the bowl games still mean something for these TV contracts, right? Because those games fill. Well, why can't your playoff do that and fill that void? And you bring up, maybe I personally would bring up some of the top FCS teams that have fan bases and support, because you still want a good product. It's more than just markets. Look at the Summit League basketball. They have Denver, Omaha, Kansas City, the Minneapolis Metro, all these things. And guess what their media deal is worth? Nothing, because nobody cares. And guess why CUSA's media deal is worth nothing? Because nobody cares, because you're CUSA and you suck. So get some good teams in there and build the quality and get something out of those media markets where people care, and create a level of football that's still college football at its roots, and let the A4 do what they do. And then maybe you set up some sort of promotion relegation thing between your 3 D1 classifications where the FCS could move up, and because you have this national media deal, now they get that influx of cash, and you set aside X amount to get them up and running at that level, and then you get relegated to FCS from whatever the middle level is. And I think there's money to be made there more than people think. Like, there's reasons the MAC and Tuesday Night Football used to get big TV contracts. Mm-hmm. And I think if they focus back on being regional and having your fans care and all that stuff, that there will be money to be brought in for these schools.
Yeah, and to that point, if MACtion didn't exist back in the day, no one would have saw Byron Leftwich do what he did at Marshall. Because on a Saturday, no one would watch them, right? But it was a Tuesday night game. Everyone's on them. My hot take on this, and it's hot, is I think they should get rid of bowls completely. The bowl, yes. There's so many bowls there. And I will say, if you want to keep them a name, if you want to say, hey, the playoff game is the Peach Bowl or the Cotton Bowl or the Rose Bowl, or I don't like, that's fine. But the amount of fucking bowls we have that change their names so often. Just
Dog Bowl.
No one gives a shit about the Gasparilla Bowl. No one gives a shit about the First Responders Bowl, except for First Responders. Shout out to the Quick Lane Bowl, the Surf. What is it?
Bad Boy Mowers.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. Everybody loves this bowl. Everybody loves this bowl. Everybody loves the Pop-Tarts Bowl. They don't love it for the damn game. They love it for the fact that you eat them.
You got to keep that one, Rev.
Yeah, if you want to make the first round game, if you want to make the first round game be in a G5 playoff, beat a Pop-Tarts Bowl, perfect. Keep that, right? Keep the bowls that have, but like this has got it. Like this is just
they have to be home games, in my opinion. Yeah, you can keep the bowl game name, but let's be honest, nobody cares where it's played.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And nobody's going to Boise, with the exception of Boise State fans, to watch the famous Idaho potato bowls, right? So, like, and so that's I just think that needs to stop. We need to stop with bowls as a whole, and we need to stop allowing 5 and 7 teams to play in bowls because other teams opt out. Go, like if you don't have enough people to fill your bowl, don't have your damn bowl. Because I mean, let's be honest, nobody watches half these games. They're bar background. They're what's on a TV when you're at a bar on a Tuesday night. So I want to get off of this subject because there's one other one, and this is probably near and dear to Zach and my heart a little bit because of who it is. But I got to talk about our boy Tremaine Jackson. Tremaine Jackson, my second favorite coach in the FCS after Kobe Carthel, put out his, I would say semi-annual now, Panther Portal Understanding. Okay, I don't know if y'all read this, so I will read this for you. Mm-hmm. This is what he has told folks about the transfer portal. 1, when I follow you, there's a 4-hour window to follow back or we're done. 2, send your phone number, transcripts, and highlight in the first message. 3, make sure you address my staff as coach and not bro or by first/last name. 4, don't ask me for NIL, which we do have. When PFF has you taking less than 150 snaps on the year on offense or defense that didn't play at all, You should have gotten your bag from the FBS. Now it's time to play. 5, pray, talk to your family, girlfriend, dog, and any other people before we offer you, not after you take, 80 visits. I'm going to want to know ASAP. School starts for us January 12th. We don't have a lot of time. When you talk to us, remember, we achieved all the following in our very first year: 2025 SWAC champion, 2025 SWAC Western Division champion, winner of all rivalry games, back-to-back 3.0 or more GPA, and Celebration Bowl attendance. Now, Tremaine Jackson has gotten a lot of crap for this post from different folks. I think
Coach Steve, douche.
Yeah, fuck that.
Sorry,
Chad. I saw you had that up. My bad. So I was looking at my phone. So people hate this. I love it. I think this is how all transfer portal interactions should be. Zach, I want to start with you first. What are your thoughts on Tremaine Jackson and his method of doing the transfer portal?
Bro, anyone who has a problem with this, either A, didn't play football, 2, is way overly sensitive, and 3, a crybaby. Like, for anyone to just be bitching about this is ridiculous. And Seth, I get you. The first one has a lot of people in arms. Bro, I'm 29. So I am young. I'm in this generation. There's not a single person my age or younger that doesn't check their ex at least every 4 hours. Yeah. So can we stop acting like this is an insane rule? Like, I know people who work for companies. I know people who are playing football right now in college. There's not a single college football player that doesn't check their Twitter DMs at least twice every 4 hours. So yeah. We're going to have to stop acting like these kids don't have a cell phone and aren't using cell phones in classes and meetings. Like, they check their social media every 4 hours, almost exclusively. And if you don't, because you have a legit excuse, I got a feeling Tremaine Jackson can make some exceptions if you're a really good player and you were doing something like in an exam or whatever it may be, and you didn't get to check your DMs. But man, like, it's setting a standard for a program. And I saw a lot of people saying, man, you're an FCS program. You can't say that. Guys, he signed a top 5 portal class in the FCS last season. He's setting the standard. Nobody would have an issue if NDSU said this. Nobody would have an issue if so-and-so P. Ford said this. So I think it's good to have standards for your program, and it sets the expectations straight up with the players. And like you said, guys, we have one portal window. You don't get a second chance at this decision now. You better make the right decision. You better make it quick. And all these guys who are going to slow play this, I've talked to coaches across the FCS. You're going to lose your scholarship. Because if I'm a wide receivers coach at NDSU and I can only take 2 wide receivers, you might be my number 1 prospect on my big board. But if 3 and 4 commit before you, you don't have a scholarship anymore. So I like the fact that he's setting the expectation ahead of time.
Yeah, and to that point, a couple things. One, there's 7,000 athletes in the transfer portal last year. You don't, like, again, you're not going, you're not shit for the most part, right? You're trying to get on somewhere, and you got to take your ego down a little bit. And I think these rules are fine too. They're not kids. They're young adults. They're adults legally, right? And as someone who is an adult, who has a job, who has to meet deadlines, who has to meet rules, who has to meet things like this with my customer and things like that, this isn't that hard of a thing to do. People are just hating it more so because of who it is, and the fact that he has the balls to do it. I think it's great. I think this should be the standard across the board, if I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah. Rev, I agree with you. Standard. I think he's laying expectations out because, I mean, the younger generation, I'll throw Zach in this, they didn't grow up with, I'm going to say, the standard rules that maybe some of us old guys did, on the thing. They went by their cell phones. They went by that stuff in the whim of their pants, where I was told you meet expectation 1, 2, 3, and 4 at this time of day. And if I didn't, I got my ass whooped when I got home. So I like that he's setting expectations for his program. He's saying this is how it's going to be. If you don't like it, piss off.
Yeah. Dallas, I'm going to ask you, because as someone whose son is currently being looked at by a plethora of schools, let's say after next year, let's say he decides to enter the transfer portal. What are your thoughts on the way Tremaine Jackson's approaching this?
That's funny. I was actually taking notes as you were saying that because I had not read this yet. And I thought, oh, man, I need to relay this information very quickly to my kid. I think it makes sense. We're very quickly understanding the rules of engagement and how this stuff goes down. And, and I know I think I'm fortunate enough. I know 40 coaches at every level all around the country, so I have some, semi inside information on how this all works. And no, it makes total sense. I have zero issue with this. One, yeah, respond quickly. What do they expect to hear back? That's all important. How do you address them? Understand that they have a limited, like, these are adults with time demands that need to take care of things very quickly. And while everyone your entire life thinks that, has told you that you are this special, unique flower, I've got 30 guys that fit your exact measurements, and I'm taking one of them. And then the other thing that I try to help my son and his classmates understand is, as an adult, as a professional, it's the same thing. If I'm going through a stack of resumes, there could be some fantastic people, but I got 150 pieces of paper. And what do I have to do? I don't look for the best one. I look for, like, okay, get rid of that one, 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 get it down to 20. Now I can dig in, right? So I'm trying to get kids to understand that, and that's what I try to get my son to understand. So no, everything that you read off there makes complete sense to me.
Well, and here's the thing too. I think a lot of the responses I've seen up in arms and in their feelings about it are the exact people who push constantly that the players should be paid and they get this freedom and transfer portal, and coaches get to do this and all that. Okay, it's a business now. They're not kids anymore. They're getting $100,000 million deal, not in FCS obviously, but they're getting big money deals. We pretended that a scholarship is not worth anything to a student athlete anymore. So, like, that it's a business now. This is big boy pants time. You don't get to just stay on the team because you got offered it. You're going to get cut if you're not good enough, because it's a business now. That's what people wanted. This is what people wanted. This is what we asked for. I have no problem with him running it that way. It can come off harsh to some people, but like you said, it sets an expectation. And if I'm a coach, if a student athlete I'm looking at can't meet those basic rules, then how's he going to behave the rest of the time in the program with the rest of the expectations and standards that I have? So if you can't adhere to that, I don't want you on my team anyways, on top of all the things that Dallas mentioned and Zach and everything else. So I
want to bring this up real quick, because Seth, and I appreciate your comment, Seth, where he says, I appreciate wanting to promise 8 to 12 hours to follow back seems more reasonable. It's 2 weeks. He has 2 weeks to go through 5,000 athletes, 6,000 athletes in the portal, right? That are shown. He doesn't have 8 to 12 hours. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's not that. Do you think 2 weeks? 2 weeks is not that long of a time to go through the players and try to not only get their stuff, but to figure out if they make sense for you to have on your team. So I'm all for his 4-hour window.
But let's not pretend that these coaches don't kind of have an idea who they're.
Yeah, they know what position they're looking for. They know what players they're possibly. I mean, the 4-hour thing, sure, like it, hate it, not, but it's a standard he's setting. He's the COO of the company, and he gets to set the standards. That's what it is.
Now, do you think other teams will do it?
I hope so.
I got a feeling other teams might have these sort of rules. They just don't publicly post them.
Thank you. I know multiple coaches who have similar rules in this. They just don't post them on social media like this.
I got a job because my boss would go through all the resumes, and anyone that had misspellings or anything like that, just they automatically, like Dallas was saying, these guys are out. They don't have time to do this right, proofread their shit. See ya.
I'll tell you,
got other people to focus on.
So I'll tell you a story. I was about this time last year, I was looking to replace somebody on my team, and I'm sitting in the Atlanta airport with my boss reading cover letters, right, for these things. And my boss goes, "What are you looking for in the cover letter?" And I was like, "Use of the Oxford comma." And she just stopped, and she's like, "What?" I'm like,
"Grandma."
I was like, and she's like, "Why?" I'm dead serious, right? Because if you have to be articulate in my job.
Are you for or against?
I'm for it. I am for the Oxford comma.
Oh, you see, that's here's the bad thing though. They said that's AI now. If you use the Oxford comma, that's a sign of AI uses now. So like a lot of younger generation was told not to do it.
I can tell you.
Good thing I don't even know what the hell it is.
What about double space?
I can tell you, I use the Oxford comma, so you know it's not AI for me. But
I'm going to use AI right now to look it up.
Oxford comma and M dashes. Those are
what?
M dashes. Wow.
Wait, What?
I didn't think about it.
Shut up, all of you.
Brian, you're doing fine. Don't worry about it. I have to use an Oxford comma at work all
Brian,
the time
I will teach
talking
you
about
Oxford.
several instances.
Listen, when Zach pays me for the beer he owes me for the Tennessee Tech game, I will explain to you the Oxford comma and why it's important over that beer. So
Let's eat grandma.
So nice shirt, Dallas. First off, I have the same one. It's a beauty. Not to derail our lovely derailment.
So happens to have
One
fun,
thing people have to understand that I don't think, if you haven't gone through the recruiting process, don't understand, is how incredibly insanely compacted it is for a 2-week window. Even if you're tampering, how Dallas, you have the best insight on this because you're going through it right now with your son. But these kids are getting contacted by schools for 2 to 3 years before they make a decision now, right?
Yep.
I mean, how long have you and Hudson been going to camp after camp after camp talking?
Long time, and it happens quick when it happens. And no, there's a lot of conversations, and it's, you know, it really just comes down to is as much as you think you're special, they've got 50 kids that are exactly you as far as you're concerned, and they have to sort it down. So I know that's repeating what we just said, but that's exactly what it comes down to. And yeah, it goes on for a long time coming out of high school. It is, now this is changing topics a little bit, but it is kind of difficult. Like, as somebody who, you know, I grew a bunch going into my senior year. I got way faster. You know, and it would have been way harder to get recruited if I had to do that, you know, off my junior film and my junior measurements and weight and everything like that. So that's another thing that's tough too. And my son also just, you know, is coming off an injury, so he's got to come back from that. So yeah, I don't know. The whole thing's strange, and I know that's not what you were getting at, but it's all like what we've seen is it all just is compressed. So if there's anybody that's my age or that's older out there that thinks they know what recruiting is, it's completely different now. Like, especially FCS and above, your senior film doesn't mean shit. Nobody's looking at that. And honestly, even Division II, decisions are made very quickly. Basically, I'm gonna make up a number. 85% of your D1 commitments are done by like July 1st, before your senior year, and then the D2 fall very quickly after that, right? So it's even the camps going into your senior year don't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, most of the people criticizing him are basically playing college football 26 and doing recruiting on there and trying to do sway pitches on Xbox and not actually know what's going on with the process. So,
well, it's the same attitude as the guy. Oh, I can't believe we're getting all these D2 transfers. Oh, sorry, they didn't match your NCAA 26 star rating.
Bro, some of the D2
SFA.
Yes, that running back is a freak.
SFA got the running back from New Mexico Highlands who rushed for 1,700 yards last year.
It's a freshman.
As a freshman.
Love it.
Yeah, him and Rutherford, who are both speedy, like Rutherford quarterback, him in the back. Ooh.
And the kids at South Dakota State signed were good.
Yeah, I want to hear Zach's comments on this because all right, so real quick, Zach, to catch you up. Jack's Illustrated, we've had a lot of comments about this kind of in our own little discussions about how much we love the idea of, like, take the guys jumping up.
Mm-hmm.
They've proven they can frickin' play football. I want those guys. I don't give a shit about what frame they had coming out of high school and they haven't played yet. I don't care if a kid was fourth string whatever at Florida. Like, that doesn't help me. Give me who bumps up. But what are your thoughts, Zach?
Yes, I have been a strong proponent of taking that approach. Like, I'll treat the D2 like the P4 treats the FCS. Yep. Take all their good players every year. Listen, like, I'm just taking, like, obviously Cole Payton's graduating, but if I'm NDSU and Cole Payton had another year, if Cole Payton graduates, who's the best D2 quarterback with eligibility? Why don't you come to NDSU and win a national championship? How about that? Like, go and just replace your guys. Like, you look at Stephen F. Austin, they're losing their top 2 rushers this year. Reese and Wembley, I think, are both graduating. Yep. What do you go do? You go get the true freshman that ran for damn near 2,000 yards last year in New Mexico Highland. You look at South Dakota State having to replace so much talent in key positions. Go get all the D2 guys that have been successful. You even look at Montana. They got that, the safety. That was the D2 All-American that they're bringing in. He's really good. And so I think that's the approach. And I do think you even look at, it's funny, we had this conversation about Tremaine Jackson. look at some of the top contributors from that Prairie View team that won the SWAC. They came with him from Valdosta State, who was in the national championship game. Now, I know Ferris State does a really, really good job keeping their talent at home, unless you're Trinidad, Chambliss, who goes to Ole Miss and plays in the college football playoff. But I'm really surprised we don't see more of those top D2 teams get poached by FCS teams. Go get the kids from Ferris. Go get the kids from Harding. Go get these guys that have been developed and have played. Because I'd take it if I'm an FCS program. My roster will look like this. I'd have the NDSU, SDSU model, even the Illinois State, Montana State model, where we got our in-state high school kids that we're developing and we can keep. The Ty Niekamps, the Tommy Rittenhouse, the Daniel Sopkowitz. But I'm also supplementing the guys we lose to the portal, which is inevitable, with top D2 guys, top NAIA guys, top D3 guys. The linebacker for South Dakota State a few years ago, Freeman, that came up from the NAIA level, was a stud. The kid that went to South Dakota, I think he's going to FBS now. Was it Nate Ewell or something like that? That he came from the NAIA level and was a stud. So I think you could always – I think that's the way this game has to flow. And I wish more FCS programs would look at D2 guys rather than, like you said, taking the fifth guy off the bench from Florida and just hoping he develops into what they thought he would be out of high school.
Yeah, I think you're seeing that, Zach. In Montana, I know the NAI conference in the what's the good NAI conference out there?
Is it the Frontier Conference?
Frontier, yeah. The Frontier Defensive Player of the Year is going to Montana next year, and the runner-up is going to Montana State. So they're poaching out there, and I would if I was them in that conference, because that's a damn good NAI conference.
Mm-hmm. If you want to know what SDSU's transfer portal looks like, you can just look at exactly what you described, Zach, and then the NSIC all-conference team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's what it is.
And one of the points that Zach was making, it's crazy to me too. We were talking about move-ups earlier. It's crazy to me that no one has looked as a whole and said, "Hey, Ferris, you would make a great FCS school." Grand Valley, Pittsburgh State, Northwest Missouri, Harding. Right, Harding won't do it because they have a heavily
Harding got blocked from coming up. Like Central Arkansas
blocked them
jump.
I don't think Ferris has the facilities.
And I was to say Harding doesn't want to lose the Battle of the Gulch with Washita Baptist either. So, but no, sorry, that's not Harding. That's Henderson. Never mind. But no, like they got blocked. But yeah, Ferris will need the facilities, but Grand Valley has them. Northwest Missouri has them. Let's be honest, Pittsburgh State has better facilities. Part of the FCS.
West Florida is going to be one that I'm looking at to make a jump. So their facilities are already, like, they would be one of the top ones outside of maybe Tarleton and the UAC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want my dream scenario? I would get some really good blackmail on the state of Wisconsin Board of Regents and let them allow half of the WEAC conference to move up to FCS and get River Falls, Whitewater.
River Falls win?
I wouldn't argue
They're in it.
They're in it, yeah.
They're playing
North
Central.
They haven't played it yet. That's right, yeah.
Yes, it's next Sunday or this upcoming Sunday.
Half of those D3 schools have stadiums that are nicer than the bottom half of the FCS.
Wisconsin Whitewater had like 30,000 people at a game last year. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what we're hoping for the national championship.
How goofy is this? Okay, so we're talking about G6 people getting butthurt about FCS teams jumping up. We are all actively encouraging the WIAC, the top teams, to jump straight up to our level and play.
Yeah, just straight to the Missouri Valley.
Hey, follow as we say, not as we do, Dallas. Okay, right? That's exactly what it is.
I think it sounds great. We're on Whitewater. That sounds fun.
Think about did y'all watch the D2 championship game? That was in McKinney, Texas, in the middtle of effing nowhere for the most part, and it was packed. It was sold out, and it was an amazing game. And both, it was Harding. None of those fan bases were close. Harding was the closest one, and yet they packed that stadium out. Like I said, I feel like we at least at the FCS level, and this may be a bit of self, bravado here, but I think the FCS level appreciates D2, the lower levels, more because we're ostracized by our other Division I companions.
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
Your average FCS fan is smarter by magnitudes over your average FBS fan.
They actually went to the school they root for.
I don't even care about going to the school. Like you are you've got Zach and you've got Sam, but you don't have College Game Day, Nick Saban, Pat McAfee, Michael Wilbon, like he knows freaking college football, telling you what to think about your level. Like you follow the sport, and we've got guys like Zach and Sam who aren't out here telling you what to think. They're giving you the info on it and doing proper reporting. So I think your average FCS fan is leaps and bounds more educated on the levels of football, the teams in football than your average FBS fan by a mile.
Not gonna lie, I wouldn't tell y'all if I won the lottery, but there would be a sign like a FCS traveling game day each week.
So Brendan, are they as smart as Jay Walker on FCS football?
Oh, jeez.
Got to be smarter than Stan Becton, though.
Oh, man. Now we're throwing some shit.
Oh,
hey, Zach, I got a question for you.
It's going to be real awkward in the press box this weekend, guys. I love y'all.
Exactly.
Like,
Stan doesn't watch this show, so it's okay.
Zach's like, my signal. Can you? It's going out, guys. I gotta go.
I did a bag of chips. Like I'm breaking up.
Stan got mad at me because I called him out about what he said about Jiho. So I doubt he watches this. So, but anyway, go on with your question.
Jiho was absolutely amazing, and I will go again.
Yes.
Chad, do you have a question?
No, I was just going to drag us back into the P4 discussion, but Zach, because I don't give a shit about the FBS, honestly. I just don't watch it at all. I don't care. I only watch the FCS. I don't even watch the G6, really. And maybe that makes me a dumb fan. So that
you know what an Oxford comma is.
Yeah, you know what an Oxford comma is. I have to use it all the time. But is there any real difference between like the top? How many teams at the FBS have a legit shot at the championship? And contrast that to, say, the FCS, and how many top teams have a legit chance at the beginning of the year. Now, we didn't expect Illinois State this year, so they kind of proved that wrong. But so just don't include this year, perhaps. But for most years, it's kind of a parallel there, isn't there? I mean, it's a valid argument both ways, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
But parity's the biggest myth in college sports that's ever been created. Like there's never been parity. There's never going to be parity. And we should just go ahead and give up that dream. The only thing that skews this debate is the recent years. And you could thank, North Dakota State and a little bit of South Dakota State for this, is that maybe you can argue there's a slightly little bit of more parity at the FBS level than the FCS. But also, too, what's really changed the FBS level is NIL, because there's so many teams that historically weren't contenders, like a Texas Tech, and they're dropping like $30 million, man. It's real hard not to win with $30 million on your roster. Like, and you're seeing that now. You see the Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin kind of emerge. Ole Miss was trash for, years and years. And Illinois State was 6th. So, I will say this. I think the idea that there's ever going to be parity is just wrong. And this is why I kind of go back to our debate while I said, like, I really don't care about the whole G6 CFP argument, because I do think when there's a split, I'm of the opinion, I know everyone just likes to say the A4. If you don't think the SEC and Big Ten are looking for a way to cut out a ton of those ACC and Big 12 programs, y'all, Kansas State is way closer to a G5 than they are to Alabama as well. And so that's where I kind of was getting at, is like when you do look at the teams that can realistically win a national title, those top SEC and Big Ten teams are going to cut out the Minnesotas, are going to cut out the Kansas States. Like, and that's kind of what Dallas was saying. You can't just, I don't think you include the A4 altogether. There's a group of like 20 to maybe 30 teams that are all kind of there together, and they're going to make this decision, and everyone else. And I think that's the thing that worries why this split's taking so long. There's some teams in the ACC that are uncomfortable right now, because if they do split in the long term, I think they're going to be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, because if you think about that, right, if you think about who it's going to be, right, because it's Miami, Alabama, Georgia, but then, we talk about the big one, the SEC big one, the Big Ten. Notre Dame would be included because they're not going to leave out Catholic money. So Notre Dame would be invited. So yeah, that's what they're worried about, because if you're Georgia Tech, or if you're Virginia Tech, or if you're Pittsburgh, you're close, you're on the outside looking in to that. And that sucks for them, especially because they've, been in that not Pitt, but Georgia Tech's been the ACC for God knows how long, right? So that is, I can see where that's a worry too, right? There's so many pieces and levels to this that would just be impacted if they were to basically, if Sankey and all them were to just basically take their money and go take their ball and go play by themselves and go play with themselves.
It comes down, Rev, how many board of regents and presidents, are going to get behind the school and wanting to compete for that football championship, because a lot of them can compete for it, but what it takes is that checkbook.
Yep,
in
exactly.
today's thing. So is a Virginia Tech, what's Virginia Tech? Well, 90,000. I mean, they make a lot of money, I would assume, playing football. But is the board of regents and the president going to go, all right, put 40 million towards it a year? What teams are going to say, go ahead and spend so that we can win, and what ones are going to say, our max is 10 million?
Well, exactly. Okay, so I'm glad you brought up thresholds, because that's the thing that eventually has to sort this out. Is there has to be tiers. And I know I'm not saying anything that no one hasn't thought of before, but you have to go, okay, your top 32 teams, let's just go 32, because NFL's 32, right?
Yep.
Okay. We'll go top 32 teams. You're allowed to spend $30 million a year right now, and we'll revisit that in 3 years or whatever it is. Okay. Your next 32 teams, you're allowed to spend 20. Your next 32, you're allowed to spend 10. And then work it down and just agree to that and be okay with it, because there's never going to be actual parity. I follow Kansas State is or was very interested in my son. Now that whole staff has turned over, so I have no idea. But that was one of the things. Like, I listened to all of their post games, all their podcasts all year, and that's the thing that the coach struggled with and was so upset all year. Every press conference, everything Clem would come back to, and I love the guy. He was such a great dude, and I wish to God it. I wish my kid could have played for Clement. I really liked him so much. But he was just like sad at every press conference. It seemed like he's basically saying, I can spend 15 million. I have to play someone that spends 35 million. I can't win this game. And like, that was just defeated. This great coach, wonderful leader of young men, just getting beat down every week and feeling awful about what he was being forced into. So no, like that's what's got to happen though. We have to have tiers. We need stratification, and we just need someone, because the NCAA can't win a goddamn lawsuit to save their lives. If anybody wants money, sue the NCAA, because they suck. And we need someone in charge with. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. But here's something, I think here's the other reason that the split's taking a while, is if you cut out down to 30 teams, like college football is college football partially because so many regions have their own, you have your own team. It's not the NFL where only select cities get to have their team. You have your own team. It's never going to leave. Now what happens when you cut out of the 300 and some Division I institutions, you go down to 30 some teams. I guarantee you there's going to be some state senators that are awful pissed off about that in different states that get cut out of the fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when legislation's going to happen. And that's when it all comes crashing down. And I think that might be part of really why they're worried, because you go down to 30 teams and it's just Big Ten and SEC, and you're cutting out you're going to cut out some programs that have big passionate followings that are going to have political power. And I've been saying for a while now, this is never going to get under control because it's all legal. Like, they've been getting their asses kicked in courts, and that's why everything's came in. Well, you want new laws? That's how you get new laws. If you cut out all 2/3 of the country from your reindeer games. And I wonder if that's part of what they're trying to avoid, because right now, if they're able to make it work, this is better for those bigger schools' pocketbooks.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me how that system has been broken for 25 years, if not longer, because the BCS basically started it, and it's just kept going, and no one has found a way to solve for it, because again, it's all money driven versus anything else. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of years with that level and what's forthcoming. Although there's some of us who have been saying this split of the Big Ten and SEC and Notre Dame taking their money and going elsewhere has been forthcoming for a long time. So it's just now coming to I guess now will be coming to a head. I know we're over an hour. Real quick, is there any other topics around the FCS or Nashville that y'all wanted to touch on that have not been touched tonight?
Awards?
Well, what's everybody's feelings on the game?
Well, I guess we could. I figured Zach would have his own preview, so I wasn't going to bring Zach in on that.
Zach doesn't have to give it away. He can,
Well, Brendan, what's your opinion on the game?
Yeah, and are you doing the live show with us, Brendan?
Yeah, I was gonna say you, me, and Taco are going to be live.
When's the live show?
Whenever Matt schedules it.
But Monday morning, probably.
Yeah,
depends on morning, but probably. I don't know how hungover I am and if it's before 10 or not.
Nah, after 10, the game's not till.
The game's not till
perfect. Yeah, I'll probably be there. I've been there the last couple of years, so yeah, probably.
Gotta figure out where we're gonna do it from this time.
I might upgrade my room, Rev. I got an option to upgrade it for semi-cheap.
So penthouse. Nice.
I don't know about that, but a junior suite.
He's got the top floor.
He's got the top floor all to himself. Yeah.
Taco floor.
He said his royalty coming in. He didn't say what it was. He said royalty.
King Taco. No, I'm kind of been teetering on my pick coming up for Scared Money Don't Make Money tomorrow night.
Nice plug, by the way.
Yeah, got a little self gratification there, right? But it's
wrong turn.
He got it. But I on one hand it feels like it kind of should be Montana State's coronation. And should be like the year that Youngstown made it against JMU a little bit. But Youngstown didn't go out and beat NDSU in Fargo. So in that Redbird defense has been really good. The offense put up points against a Nova defense that wasn't allowing anybody to score. Boy, that 10.5 feels like a lot, but I don't know. On the Montana State's looked really good. So, boy, yeah, and it's for the trip to Terre Haute. So I don't want to give it away tonight because I saw Kinkle listening before. So I don't.
Oh, Kinkle. Well, I'm sure Kinkle's distracted. So Chad, let's go to you because you sadly will not be in Nashville with us.
No, I won't.
What are your thoughts on it?
Man, Montana State's looked like a buzzsaw all year, but I also thought for sure that the Grizz were going to get them, and they just did not have a good first quarter. And like Brendan said, that Redbird defense has been amazing. They slayed the Dragon at his own cave up in Fargo. Man, I don't know who's going to win for sure, but I sure am pulling for the Redbirds. Let's just put it that way. If the Cats win, good for them. Great. Brock Spack's a good dude by all measures. I'm not saying anything against Vegan with that, but I'd like to see the Redbirds win. So I think I'm a fan of the color red for this game.
I have a question for Zach, actually, or everybody, whoever wants to chime in. Do you almost think that maybe even though Illinois State had so many weeks in a row on the road, they would have preferred to keep playing and keep the momentum rolling of the hot streak?
Yeah, they seem like a better road team.
They're a better road team.
Yeah.
I made a joke. I made a joke on one of the shows I was like that they probably, if they could, they petitioned to play this in Bozeman. They're like, man, let's put it in Bobcat Stadium and let's keep this thing rolling. Play it the week after the semifinals. Right. And we don't want to break. We want to go to Nashville. Man, just put us on the road and let us go win another game.
Their only road loss was in Stillwater to Oklahoma State, right? That's it. They're undefeated.
Yeah, they're like 15-1 over the past 2 years against the FCS on the road, which is just insane to think about.
Yeah, they get drubbed by SIU and normal, but had that game been in Carbondale, it'd been a completely different sort of game.
It just flipped the score the other way.
Well, consider the road venues that they're playing those games in too. I mean, that's
in
a
the
lot
Valley to go 15-1 on the road.
Yeah.
I mean the fact that's the thing, and I'll talk about this more Monday on the live show, which you can see here on the FCS Fans Nation network. That I think people keep forgetting when they're looking at it, it's like, oh yeah, Montana State is bustled. People keep forgetting that Illinois State beat North Dakota State in the mall, in the Fargo Dome. And I feel like, and maybe not forgetting, but it seems like they're downplaying that fact. And they're just like, oh, Montana State's this. They've got Lamson, they've got Davis, they've got Pac-Man Jones. They've got all this stuff, but people keep forgetting that Illinois State beat NDSU. And
with 5 turnovers.
So I don't think it's as cut and dry as people think it is. Now, granted, Montana State's definitely progressed in the playoffs in terms of, drubbing people, right? And if you use transitive property, which is never wrong, by that logic, Yale is better than SFA, who is better than Montana, because transitive property is never wrong. And if you look at the score differential, and that's what I'm basing that on. But and all jokes aside, Montana State, has gotten better week over week in the playoffs. But I just still don't think it's as cut and dry as, Montana State's this buzzsaw.
I'm a Valley shill, so I'm rooting for the Redbirds, but honestly, give me the Cats by like 16. I don't think it's close.
Yeah, hold on, real quick. So here's the thing: Redbird Seth says the Redbirds deserve props for beating NSU, but we found out Cole was severely limited. No.
They were an underdog, right?
No, that's weird. That always comes out after NDSU loses a game.
Yeah,
Cole came out and said he wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
So no.
And whether or not, let's say that was the case, the fact that ISU overcame 5 damn turnovers is enough to even put that. Like, that's like. No, don't listen. I actually have nothing against NDSU, although I never need to go to a game in Fargo because I've seen it enough in Frisco. Don't do that. Yeah, that's very true. I do feel for the restaurants in Frisco who are not making any money.
Before,
yeah, I would pour out my beer for them, but I've already drank it. But no, so yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. Dallas, I was going to ask you though, because you will not be in Nashville. What are your thoughts? You said you're a Valley thing, but I was reading the comment here. You said Cats by 16. Is that what?
Yeah, I do feel like that. No, Montana State has looked way too good. They've already taken down who they need to. I don't see how Illinois State can continue what they've done through this. I think that it's, again, all respect to them. I think Brock's back is fantastic. Valley shill, but nope, give me the Cats by a bunch.
That's fair. Taco, do you want to give away anything or do you want to save it for Monday?
Good talk.
Dude, I was doing a good Ben impersonation, actually.
We'll wait till Monday.
That's fair. Zach, do you have anything you want to say without giving away any of your stuff?
I mean, I kind of agree with what Brendan said, man. 10 points is a lot of points. Like, especially when you start diving into like this Illinois State team, I think they're gonna have a better shot than some people think.
Yeah. So, Ron, this comment made me think of this unrelated. When I was in college, back in the mid 2000s, there was this infomercial. This guy who wore like a suit that had like question marks on it. Do you want to make? That's exactly what you sounded like whenever I read this. It's all I could think of.
I'm picturing Ron that way for the rest of my life. That's how I envision.
Is Ron gonna be in Nashville?
Ron,
gotta be in Nashville.
Please make your avatar that guy. I will send you the photos.
Isn't that guy's last name Lesko
or something? Yeah, something like that.
Ron Lesko.
Ron, are you?
I think it is Ron, isn't it? Ron Lesko.
Do you want to make money? So, all right. Now Ron's back to yelling at a cloud. So, Ron, are you going to be in Nashville?
Are you dodging the question, Ron?
He has to be in Nashville or he's not. It's Matthew Lesko, and I was
Matthew Lesko. Wait, can you put the picture up, Chad, of him?
I will work on that. Hold on,
because that's all I could think of when he put that up. But yeah, I will say this too while Chad. Ron.
Ooh, Ron.
Listen, we're gonna need like a signed doctor's note or something, man. That's unacceptable.
Ron's not a real person.
I told you I had this theory that he was AI.
He's a bot.
Ron's actually Matt Frazee.
Oh, Jesus.
What, could he cancel our podcast?
Oh gosh.
Why we wait for Chad to pull that up? Zach, quick.
There you go.
Way too early.
This guy.
Who's your top 3 teams next year coming into the season?
Bro, the portal hasn't even opened yet, man. That's
Yeah,
a loaded
There's
question.
There's Ron Loudy right there.
Okay, so Taco King, the best way to answer this is if barring
moved to
any
Minnesota.
unexpected transfer portal announcements, because the problem is here, Montana State's really young. So I'm going to
Yeah,
pick
they're
them
super
to be
young.
the preseason favorite. But how many of those guys hit the portal after the national championship?
NDSU lost two of their top DBs today.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's weird. Like me and Timothy were actually texting about this. As much talent as NDSU has coming back, there's a few key positions that you guys could be in, like have a real rebuild at. Because there's a handful of guys like on the offensive line that haven't really announced their intentions yet.
Yeah, all the big ones on the offensive line are back. From what I've
seen. Bo's coming back.
We lost 2 starters in the defensive backfield today, and we've lost a kicker so far.
So the secondary would be the biggest question, but you guys had a really good secondary 2 years ago that just got older this year. Montana State would be one. I think South Dakota State is going to be real sneaky, man. I've watched the film of some of those D2 editions. Listen, I get some South Dakota State fans might not like the D2 label, and they got some ballers coming in, and with Chase Mason coming back, the one concern I have is they got to find a running back, man. That was like a huge concern for me this year, is that even with Lawfridge, they could not run the football against elite teams. If they can figure that out, they'll be fine. And then the other one, just to throw like a curveball at you, because obviously NDSU is going to be in there, but like if there's a team outside of the big three to be good, I mean, listen, Tarleton's probably still going to be good. I know they're losing a ton, but I still think they're going to be good talent-wise. The one question, I think Stephen F. Austin defensively is going to be fine. The one question is if Rutherford can be as good as Vidlac was at quarterback, and that's the one question I have for consistency over the whole season. But the sneaky one's UC Davis, man. I want to put them in people's minds. Like, if they can keep Caden Pinnick and some of those young pieces they have on the offense, they're going to be really, really good. So I think them. And then obviously I think in the comments someone said Youngstown with Brungar coming back, man, they just got to find a defense.
Yep.
Like, can they keep anyone under 21 next year, and they'll be really good because they're going to be able to put up points on anybody.
Yeah. So I would say I was going to call my shot too. Brendan, go ahead, call your shot.
There's going to be a Patriot League team in the semifinals.
Zach.
They're I mean,
maybe
not wrong.
Could
Not
happen.
wrong. Not wrong. No, I was
Isn't
gonna
Villanova a Patriot
Former
League team?
CAA.
Yeah,
Former
Villanova, Richmond, William and Mary.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the Patriot League now is what the CAA should have added.
It's the CAA, but not on Flow Sports.
Right. So it's better.
That's exactly what it is.
Lehigh's been good, so
Yeah, they have been
to.
good, yeah.
Lafayette is retaining it. Lafayette will probably be good. You know, they were not bad this year. So no, the only reason I was pointing out SFA, the one thing that's gotten me about SFA is we had our coaching staff rated significantly. Mike Mutz went to Georgia Southern, Coach Trice went to Houston, but then we brought in Cade Fask from CSU Pueblo, who had one of the top D2 defenses. So I'm not so worried about the coaching. We did lose some key players. So Charles Demings is going. Obviously, he's going to get drafted. Jaden Sallard is gone. There's some key pieces, but SFA was a pretty young team, also not that many seniors. So that's why I think we'll be back. And that's the one homering you'll see from the Southland Sermon right now is that. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the next 14 days too, with the transfer portal as well, and how many kids go in. Young adults go in, and how many chasing
Sounds
rainbows.
like a bad movie.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, look at this. Apparently,
Taco Bet.
Tulsa is going to rent a house and have a portal house.
Yeah, I saw this.
That's kind of
Oh
hilarious,
my
man. Like,
It
I
is
love the
hilarious.
marketing.
That's God bless them. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Speaking of teams who should be FCS,
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Speaking, I mean, I remember seeing them play when I was in like high school, and they would play like TCU, and and they going to Tulsa, and like they're just ass. That's someone who should not be where they are. But no, guys, we're
90 minutes,
90 minutes or so. I know some folks have things going on this week. I don't, because I'm on vacation, but I want to say thanks to y'all for taking your time to come on tonight.
Can I do one taco bet?
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
Over under on how many shots we make Joe and Sean take. on Saturday night.
Oh,
At least 10.
Wait, are we starting with a cement mixer? Because I'm going to lower my number.
No, they
are
won't.
we-
They won't drink if we
We won't
do
even
that. Like
do
you
that
gotta
or a
keep them.
prairie
You
fire
gotta be
anymore.
straight. They got punished in Brookings.
Is this
Big
an
man.
each or is this a combined?
We'll do each. I was gonna
'Cause
set
here's
the
the thing,
over under at
Joe-
8.5.
Well, no. So with that, I'll take the
I'll
under
take
on
the
Joe.
under.
I'll take the under on Joe. I might take the over on Sean. That's a big boy.
Yeah,
Joe's-
Sean. I feel like Sean can hold his own. Like Joe might be out after like 5.
Joe will
Joe's
wimp out
so-
at like
all right.
3 or 4.
Joe's
Let me
gonna
tell
probably
you.
start, doing casting spells and looking for Dumbledore after his third one. So
You mean Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy's illegitimate love child?
Got that out
love you,
officially.
Joe. Love you, Joe. Sorry, but
Those guys showed up at 4:00 at Brookings 3 years ago now. And I was like, let's get some drinks at the bar. And they're like, it's way too early. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, all right. So I'm betting the under.
yeah. Well, like I'd already told them because Frazee doesn't. Actually, Matt's like the last one of us to get in.
Yeah.
The Nashville. Yeah. So I told Joe, I was like, look, I'll see you Saturday night. Just like, text me and tell me where y'all are because I'm sure you'll run into the others before you see Matt and myself. But
Yeah.
I almost asked
Zach,
them if
you
they
get
wanted
in
to
Friday?
carpool with me.
Yeah, Friday.
I'm the first one in our group.
yeah.
Oh.
No, Kyler might be in before you. Kyler
Is he?
gets in at Kyler is on a 7:00 flight at Houston. He gets in at like 9. So
Okay, I'm at 7:01 out of Minneapolis, so I'll be there at like
Yeah.
9:20.
yeah, Kyler's there, Jamie's there at like 10, and then I get in at like 3:45, and Matt gets in at like 4:30. But he's flying Allegiant, so he'll probably get in at like 7 because that airline's awful.
When's
So-
the magical creature from the Shire get in?
I don't know when he gets in. I don't know if he I don't know if he got an adult ticket or not either for that flight.
Okay, hold on. So we're now turned into a Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings podcast. This is. Should we
Up
just
your
reset
alley.
and start over? No, I'm so excited. Let's start over.
Dallas, you're a Harry
Yeah.
Potter fan?
Huge.
Dude, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Hogwarts.
I just bought 50% off Harry Potter Christmas decoration at Menards.
Yes, love it.
Menards is the best. Let's
Wait,
just
well,
throw
they
that
don't
out.
sponsor.
Zach
this-
doesn't even
they
know
don't,
what
they,
it is.
they don't sponsor the show, so please say the Home Depot of the Midwest.
Oh, well, the Home Depot of the Midwest, because I also bought 2
Home
more
Depot
25-foot blow-ups. I'm
I was
up
gonna
to
say,
3
did
of
you
them
buy
now.
the giant
I got
one?
two
Yes.
20-footers. Yep.
I got 3 now.
Were they down to 75%, or did you have to get them at 50?
I got
so
them
they
at
weren't
50.
gone?
There was only
Yeah,
one
I'm
of
at
each
50.
left. I snagged those sons of guns.
Zach, do you know
There's a
what the store is?
buttload of them in Sioux Falls still, Chad.
Say that again, bro.
Really?
Do you know what the store is?
Yeah,
Menards?
I mean, I know what it is, but they are not around us.
So visually, it's if Walmart and Home Depot had a baby and it was clean. That's basically what that's.
Clean.
Very clean.
clean,
Very
very
clean.
Or the hardware stuff, 100%.
Yeah, it's a great store. I actually missed when they were my customer. They were fun, except for going to their headquarters in
Eau Claire?
February. It was not fun. Yeah,
Water Street's a good time.
Water Street was a good time, but when it was minus 20 while I was there, I did not enjoy it so much. It was quite cold.
That's not cold according to Chad.
I know
He said
Chad's
it's not
Chad's probably walking around in a tank top and shorts and flip flops.
I mean, it was 7, I think, this morning when I started my car.
Oh, Chad, it was negative 26 in Canada this morning.
I
He's
know, it was
He's
up
in
there.
the worst part of Canada for temperature.
He is.
Yeah, it was a little tad bit nipply this morning.
Were you out there in shorts and a t-shirt?
I actually swear to God, I took the dog out in shorts and t-shirt. Swear to God. I did.
I 100% believe that, too.
Yeah.
Speaking
And then
of-
I was on the road by 6 a.m. though, back to Fargo.
I don't know.
Hey.
Speaking of the weather, I don't know. Granted, you don't trust the weather forecast until about 3 days out from when it is. But right now, the game is actually looking really good for Monday if it holds. Like even better than it was. High as 61, low, 38. With
That's
no
football
rain.
weather.
That's football weather. That actually looks really awesome. I hope that forecast holds.
How would you know? Taco? You guys playing them all.
I think we got to back up because we have somebody in Canada apparently. So it's 3 days out, not 3 days out.
Yeah, 3 days out. I'm only part-time up there, Dallas.
Oh, got
He's
it.
less than 50% by law.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what is it? Is it one taco is equal to 1.29 Canadian tacos? Is that how the math works? I can't
We don't
remember.
even have tacos up there. It's so far north.
It's just poutine. They don't know what a taco is.
Just poutine.
Just poutine.
And poutine is fantastic.
Poutine is
I'm gonna-
fantastic.
I'm not saying a word after all that. Tacos and poutine.
Yeah,
Exchange rate.
that's the whole reason Brian goes up to Canada is for tacos and poutine.
Canada.
Oh, we
And
just
it's-
ruined this for Matt.
Well,
Sorry.
It's an expensive taco, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think we've hit the
Wake up my daughter.
Southland
Oh my
Sermon
God.
version of Garage Time now at this point.
I drug us there. You're welcome.
It's a good way to
Yeah,
end the
that's
year,
great.
boys. Good way to end the
Yep.
year.
Fun.
This is awesome. I appreciate y'all coming on. Zach, because I haven't checked all your stuff, and the fact that you have 90 million shows. What's come out, or what is nothing's probably come out yet, right? What is the
No.
release dates for stuff this week for the people who want to listen, who may not be subscribing to you
Tomorrow?
or getting notifications?
I think the FCS Edge comes out tomorrow. Me and Sam's podcast comes out Wednesday, and then me and Timothy's will drop on Thursday.
You do a
Me and Timothy-
podcast with Stan?
No, Sam.
Sam,
Oh,
Herder.
Sam
God,
Herder,
I was
yeah.
going to lose some.
No.
No, have you
Lose
not
all credibility.
have you not listened to him and Sam Herder's The Petting Zoo? Great.
I don't
great
think so,
show.
actually.
It's a great show, The Petting Zoo. You should check it out.
You're back up on a good level, though. There's Zach. I about actually was going to disown you.
Awesome. Well, here, real quick, just as we always do, let's go around the horn. Any last words, Brendan? I'm going to start with you. You got anything else?
No, nothing good.
You want to plug a show again for tomorrow, real quick?
Oh yeah, we'll be doing that thing with Scary Money Don't Make Money. It'll be a short show, I'm sure. Tomorrow night, 9:00. Same bad time, same bad channel.
I bet you the show goes more than 30 minutes.
Yeah, 1,000%. I'll be in the comments.
I'll be in the
making sure of it.
comments wrecking it.
Yeah, I'm wrecking the show tomorrow.
I don't know. We only got one game to pick.
It doesn't matter.
But I'm gonna bring up Woodwick candles. Like we're going like the whole
Yes.
90 minutes.
So legit, I will tell
You're
y'all,
a
I
proper
didn't
menace.
do this because of the cost, but I did proof out a Woodwick candle that was Alex from his calendar. The one of him in the kitchen that says you want some man meat. I proofed that out as a candle. It was like $50 a pop, and I was like, I can't do that for everybody, unfortunately. And then I did one of Brendan and his buffalo plaid one, but that was more of a threat to get the other photo I needed. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
rude. First off,
I didn't do it, so. But yeah, that was gonna be my gift to y'all. Was gonna be Woodwick candles of Alex. I may still do that. I just you may be randomly getting Woodwick candles from me in the mail as the year goes on. So, Chad, you got any last words?
Legs, spread the word.
There you go. Dallas, what about you?
Nope. Appreciate the time. And Zach, thank you for lending your professionalism to whatever this just was.
It's fair. It's fair.
Poutine King.
No, I'm just kind of psyched I found another Harry Potter nerd.
Oh yeah. All right. We got to find time to bond over this. Absolutely.
Oh God, yeah. I didn't. I'll tell y'all. I never read Harry Potter until I
What?
met my wife. Until I met my wife.
Oh,
And
okay.
then,
All right,
and
we're
then I randomly saw when we were in college. I went to her dorm room and she was watching the Goblet of Fire movie. And I was like, kind of watched. I was like, okay, this is interesting. I was like, what is this? Because I hadn't seen any of the movies either. And then, and the time, I guess this was 2005. So before I guess the sixth book came out, I managed to read all the other ones to get caught up with her. Plus, I kind of liked her. So yeah, so that I will say I do like Harry Potter a lot more than I like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is the most boring crap I've ever read and
Hey.
watched in my life.
Hey.
No.
Yeah, yes, I'm sorry.
No.
It is, Rev. I'm with you. It is terrible.
It's three
Wow.
movies about walking. Movie
Wow.
one, the
That
Clerks
was
Okay,
two-
so
good.
we now
Clerks
You
two nailed it.
uncultured heathen.
okay,
You
so we now
disgust me.
clearly need a Football Guys Talk Tolkien
There you
podcast.
go.
All
right.
Silmarillion.
Let's
Let's
just-
really
let's not start over.
A football guys, a football. This could be all season content. We can talk Harry Potter, and then we have one that talks
That's
about.
what Scared Money Don't Make
I'm
Money is going to
good.
be in the off season. It's going to be Brian coming up explaining the Oxford comma and M dash.
Yes.
We're gonna call it.
We're gonna
We're
need a
calling for all
PowerPoint
this. Let's
presentation on the Oxford comma, Brian.
We're gonna call it the
I will be
Football
ready
Nerds.
come Saturday.
We'll call
We're
it the
quizzing you
Football
at the
Nerds
bar,
podcast.
so just be
and
ready.
everyone's gonna think it's like in-depth football shit, and it's all Yeah, it's all Tolkien, Harry Potter, and Oxford.
Don't they
Comics.
have
Oxford
something
Comics.
like that already called Sickos Committee?
Yeah,
We're
we could do
stealing their
better.
shtick.
We could do
Yeah.
better. We could do better. Well, and Zach, do you have any last words?
No, man, I'm ready to meet up with everyone in Nashville, man, and kick it. It's good seeing everyone over there, and I'm excited for the new city, man. So I'll see y'all there.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a blast. Can't wait to go down Broadway with y'all. For those of you watching, thanks for watching. All 100 and something of you did. I'm just gonna leave Ron Lowney's comment up here saying Nashville, even though he won't be there. But once again, thanks for liking and subscribing.
Not a true fan.
Make sure not only with FCS Fans Nation, but all the FCS media, Zach, Sam, the Hacks, Kevin Marshall and FCS Nation Radio. Make sure you go like and subscribe, support what's going on, and just help support and help grow the subdivision. With that, I hope you all have a happy new year. If you go out and drink, please don't drive. Get an Uber, do something, get a hotel room. Don't risk it. It is not worth it to do. And like I said, can't wait to see all y'all on Broadway. Peace.
Boom.